I technically did quit during that point in time, and I decided to go travelling with Becky. I actually went as far as applying for a couple of other jobs.
It's Jack Massey Welsh, aka JackSucksAtLife.
MrBeast Award is now fully submerged in the Earth's stratosphere.
Jack, that makes you officially amazing. So on behalf of everyone at Guinness World Records, please allow me to present you with this.
I was speaking to my old form tutor earlier, and I can distinctly remember having a conversation with her as we were doing all of our UCAS forms. So we were filling all of those in, and I decided that perhaps I would have a gap year where I gave YouTube a go, because I think I'd probably gotten to about 30,000 subscribers as I was nearing the end of college. He just said, would I like to borrow it? So of course I was like, yes please, Mr. Beast, that sounds great, thank you. He said, you have 24 hours, well, I'll get it sent to you. I wouldn't want to have the level of fame that people like the Sidemen have, because...
Hello and welcome to Beyond QE, a new series on the QE podcast, which goes behind QE alumni and what they've been doing since their time at college. And I'm very excited to welcome on the first guest today, joining me in the studio, a ex-QE student who attended QE quite a few years ago now, and is now a YouTube creator with over 4.6 million subscribers. It's Jack Massey Welsh, aka JackSucksAtLife.
It's me. Hello. Pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
I'm so glad. So,
very exciting.
Well, Jack, I suppose the first thing to say is welcome back to QE.
It's weird. It's weird to be back.
We just had a little tour around. How's it been to be back after 12, 13 years?
Yeah, somehow it's been 13 years since I was here, which I don't really understand, but it was very weird because I was saying I can just remember where everything is, even though I've not thought about where any I didn't even take geology, but I still know where the geology room is.
I don't even know where the geology room is. And I went wrong, and you were like, isn't it this way?
This fella tried to take me the wrong way at the mezzanine, can you imagine?
Well, this is what it looked like, I think, at one point.
Wow, God, you make me
in 2012. In October 2012, that was.
No way, look at that.
And then this is it now.
It's a different colour.
I know.
I did not take that in from the outside.
And that's the new floor on top.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And this is you jumping off.
Look at you with all your props.
Stand-up park wall here.
Do you know what? When I went past the wall on the way in, I thought about that image.
Yeah. And then this was you at the similar sort of time. I don't know whether it was at college or not.
So that was taken... it was to go in a media magazine.
I thought it could be. Yeah. It looked like a media type shoot.
I do not like the very, very flat straight hair.
No, yeah, it's very like boy bandish.
It is, but it was 2012.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
You have to understand.
So it's great to interview you again. I interviewed you back in 2023.
You did
3 years ago on my own podcast, Chase That Dream.
You chased that dream and you got me, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I did. And it's now a pleasure to welcome you back.
It's great.
I was looking back at it, and you've gained 2 million subscribers since then in those 3 years.
Have I? Okay.
Yeah, I know.
And then, I've been stuck at pretty much the same amount for I think at least 12 months of those 2 years, but I'll take it.
So it's great to have you here. So obviously you attended at QE quite a few years ago.
Yep.
But what was it like growing up in the Northeast?
It was nice. I really liked my childhood. I really liked everywhere that I went. We had I lived in a really small village in Bishop Auckland, and we used to play around on the back streets and through the woods. It was a really nice period of time to be a child. I think that kind of era of the early 2000s.
Yeah, and you now live in the Midlands. So would you ever think about moving back to the Northeast?
Yeah, I would. That's kind of our current intention. Is we would like to come back to closer to where me and my partner Becky both grew up. So she was from North Yorkshire and I'm from County Durham. So it'd be nice if we could get back to sort of North Yorkshire, because that's such a lovely place to live. Yeah. But it's just quite expensive. So
well,
it's difficult to find the right house. But that's kind of a possibility that we'd like to do.
Yeah. So what made you at 16 decide to come here to QE?
Do you know? I don't remember. I don't know. I can't even think what the other option was. Can you? What was your other option? Because it was probably my other option.
I suppose Teesdale sixth form.
Yeah, maybe that was where we went to. I think just most of my friends went to QE.
Yeah.
So I was just going along with the flow of it.
And what subjects did you do while you were here?
So I did film studies, I did media communication and production. That was its proper name. I did ICT for first year, and then I dropped that one, and I did computing. So they're all kind of fairly linked to what I'm doing at this point.
Yeah. So what made you decide those subjects?
I mean, I was always really interested in film. So I think just film and media both just align with those kind of things. When I was younger, I wanted to be, film director and all those sort of usual things that film people are into.
Yes. Did you enjoy your time here? And what's some of your fondest memories?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So I was saying earlier that this is where I met my girlfriend, because we were in the same form together. So it was very strange just walking past that room again.
Yeah.
Because obviously that's been such a ginormous impact on my life. But Becky she arrived late on the first day, and my seat was the only seat that was left vacant. So she had to sit next to me. She had no other choice in the matter. But obviously I'm really glad that she did.
Yeah. And do you think QE has taught you any skills that helped you in your later life and the subjects, or even stuff that you did outside your subjects?
I think in terms of things outside of subjects, obviously the subjects were really useful, but the social aspect of this college had a really big impact on me, a really positive way, because I was quite insecure throughout secondary school. And I was able to kind of come out of my shell a little bit within this building. That I really did gain a lot of new friends here and build my confidence up quite a lot at that point in time.
Yeah.
So it was a really good thing to be able to do.
Yeah, I can imagine. And you obviously launched your YouTube channel while you were here.
Did.
And it grew.
As a 16-year-old.
Yeah, and it grew by 2014 to 100,000 subscribers. So how was that, having that growth while you were in college? What was that like?
Yeah, it's really interesting thinking back to random points in time, because I can remember I had 10,000 subscribers. I was in my second year here. It was early into the second year of my time here. And I distinctly remember that I'd just recorded a 10,000 subscriber special Q&A. And I do quite a cringy little dance in that Q&A. And I can remember a friend of mine watching it in the atrium and laughing at me. And it's so weird to think back to that period of time. And I can remember because I didn't really speak to Becky very much, because we got together after college. I didn't, even though we did speak a lot, but we weren't together. But I have a distinct memory of her sat in the atrium with her friends, and she was watching PewDiePie's Amnesia series. Okay. And it's so interesting dating those very sort of 2012 things to a specific point in my life at the same time. Because 2012 YouTube feels so different to 2012 my life, but obviously they were happening at the same time. Yeah. It's weird.
And what advice would you give to someone who is in college trying to do their A-levels and stuff, but also trying to build something of their own on the side as you did?
Yeah, I obviously it's just balance, isn't it? You don't want to neglect either of them. Obviously there can be periods of time where you're focusing more on one, during exam season you might be able to put a bit more time into the exams and the coursework stuff, and then ease off a little bit more while you're doing your side projects. So it's literally everything in life is just balance related.
Oh yeah. And did many people know in college about your channel, and how was that having to deal with that?
I'm trying to think back. Yeah, it was. I don't think I told anybody about it until I had 10,000 subscribers, because I wanted to feel I guess having no subscribers and making Minecraft videos is would be considered a lot more lame than having 10,000 subscribers and making Minecraft videos and particularly in 2013 my Minecraft videos were not good. It's not something that I was hugely proud of at this point in time.
Well, you talk about that, I've got a little game for us to play.
Excellent.
Okay. This is the first game of a few during this episode.
Well, I personally can't wait.
So, we're going to see how well you knew your channel in 2013, 2014.
Right, okay.
So, I have got some titles from your YouTube videos in mainly 2014. And then I've also got some AI-generated YouTube titles in the style of JackSucksAtMinecraft from 2014. So you have to guess which are the real titles and which are the actual fake titles.
Okay, so we're going back 12 years.
Are you ready for this?
Videos from how many videos have I made? Like 4,000 or something,
Yeah,
probably
quite a lot.
All right, yeah, I think I can do this.
Okay.
I think I'll be good.
So, the first title is "I Turned My Friend into a Creeper Permanently." Is that right, or is that fake,
I
or is
can
that real?
guarantee that's AI generated title.
That is true. That is AI.
I'm gonna get perfect score here, 100%.
Okay, so this next one is this guy tried to bribe me with a potato. Is that true or is that false?
Say it one more time. This guy what?
This guy tried to bribe me with a potato.
This guy trying to bribe me with a potato has a little bit more suspicion to it. I'm trying to So, can I get a clarification? If it was like Minecraft Factions episode 42, this guy tried to bribe me with a potato, would you have removed the Minecraft Factions aspect?
Potentially, I don't know.
Oh god, because that's what changes things here.
You'll have to guess that one. I'm not giving anything away.
I'm gonna say, if it's 2014, I'm gonna say that is AI generated again.
That is, you're correct.
Okay, phew. Okay. That was a little bit more of a gamble.
Cool. Okay, so this next one, Fart Rainbows, Minecraft Streak Mod Showcase.
That is real.
Is that a real title? Yep. You are correct. Okay, the next one is Troll Your Friends. Oh no, sorry, that's not the full title. Minecraft 1.8 tutorial. The Exploding Tree, Troll Your Friends, works with Xbox and PS3, just to clarify that.
Did I put works with Xbox and PS3? Interesting. See, that one feels very legit. And I did have an era of time where I was doing like really short Minecraft tutorials where it was pranks. So that could be real. And the Exploding Tree bit sounds very legit, but it's the works on Xbox and PS3 that's throwing me off.
That's the question. Is it real or is it AI?
This has gotten harder. It's getting harder as you progress it. I'm gonna say it's real.
You're gonna say it's real? Wow, chat.
Is it real?
It is real.
Oh my god. Oh god.
Okay, the next one is Minecraft mods, meteors, volcanoes, earthquakes, and sinkholes, natural disasters in brackets.
That's real.
That's real? You sure?
Yep.
It is real. Okay, some next ones. I hid in a wall for 3 days. They still didn't notice. Is that real or is that AI?
It's a good title. I hid in a wall, I didn't notice. For 3 days. So there was an era, there was like a fad where it was called the I Am Stone challenge, where you change your skin to a stone block and you'd hide. So that could have been that era of Minecraft content. But I am going to say that it was once again AI generated.
You are correct. You're doing well at this so far.
They're just like the layout of the Queen Elizabeth Sixth Form College. This is all deeply ingrained in my brain.
Brought back to you. And then the final one, I think you've got all of them right so far.
I have, yep.
Yeah. The final one, I let a pig play Minecraft. He's better than me. Is that correct?
Once again, it's a fabulous title, but I'm going to say that is AI generated.
You are correct, and for that, you win our first prize.
You're
today.
joking.
Yeah.
No way.
Not just one QE branded post-it notes, 2 QE branded post-it notes. Well, probably about 200.
Oh
but
my
there you go.
That's
Some QE branded post-it notes there.
Check those out. Thank you very much for that. That's
and
what an honour.
You've got the chance to win 2 more prizes.
You're kidding. I mean, I can't see under your chair, so I have a feeling I know what they are.
Spoilers there, Jack, honestly.
Wow, look at that. And it's pretty warm in here, so I can use it.
Well, yeah. So at that time at QE, did you ever expect yourself 12, 13 years later to be sitting back in college talking about your successful career?
No, I was speaking to my old form tutor earlier, and I can distinctly remember having a conversation with her as we were doing all of our UCAS forms. Do you still do that?
Yeah.
Is that still a thing? Okay. Yeah. So we were filling all of those in, and I decided that perhaps I would have a gap year where I gave YouTube a go, because I think I'd probably gotten to about 30,000 subscribers as I was nearing the end of college, and things were going quite well with the Minecraft mod showcases that I was doing at the time. And I specifically remember seeing that I was getting about 30,000 views a day. And then like my friend Joe made fun of me for saying that because I sounded like I was being all egotistical about it, which perhaps I was at that point in time as well. And Vicky, the form tutor, she just agreed, yeah, it's maybe worth having a go. So I did get accepted into university, but I just deferred my application for a year.
Yeah, and was there any like other more negative reactions from people around that? Because obviously YouTube being a career is very accepted now,
Yeah.
but in 2013 it probably wasn't. It was still in its infancy.
Yeah, it was different, and it was definitely a risk. But I was quite lucky that my parents have always just been very supportive of just me doing. They sort of had faith that I would make the right decision. And I didn't rush into things, you know. I did have a backup in place with that university application. I mean, technically, I think it was Portsmouth University that I got accepted into for doing a film course. But I accidentally got Portsmouth and Plymouth mixed up. So I emailed Plymouth University asking to defer my application. And then Plymouth University got back about 6 weeks later saying, "Who are you?" At which point my application to Portsmouth expired, and I actually lost access to it completely. So fortunately,
it did work.
It worked out, but
because then you would have been a bit.
I would have been in trouble if I had actually needed that backup plan, but fortunately I didn't.
Oh yeah. So like, how was it like doing that first year, being like doing YouTube full time, and having to have your like passion actually make you money, and seeing like your friends go off to uni and you doing that? How was that?
So what I did was, I think this was absolutely the right decision from like a social standpoint, is I decided that I would move with my friends. So a lot of my friends went to Newcastle and Northumbria University. So I just found student accommodation within Newcastle, even though I wasn't actually attending university. So it meant that I was able to still live that student lifestyle and experience things like Freshers Week and stuff, even though I wasn't actually at a university.
Yeah.
And I grew a lot during that time and experienced lots of things during that time. So I'm really glad that I got to do that. And it's interesting, just YouTube was just very, very different at that point in time. So the kind of videos that you could make, I could make 10 different videos in a day of just different Minecraft mods or things like that. It was just, for whatever reason, the amount of time and effort that you could put into a video was just so much lower at that point in time. So I was just able to balance it quite easily.
Yeah, and how was like pressure for videos to perform, because obviously you needed to support yourself?
Yeah, it's been sort of different eras. So when I first moved out, things were growing quite quickly, and I was able to. I had a server that financed me quite a lot. So that became my biggest source of income, and then YouTube AdSense was secondary for a long time. So it was nice to be able to balance both of those, because that's what allowed me to keep going. But yeah, it's interesting as eras change, because then the following year I moved to a different student accommodation, and at that point in time my channel slowed down so much more. But it fortunately, I always just, for that year and a half, I was just living at kind of a fairly average wage, where I did have enough and I was quite happy with that, even though my channel did stagnate for a long period of time.
Yeah, and around that period of time, 2016, 2015, you seriously thought about quitting. So like, what was that behind that decision, and how close were you to that?
Yeah, so I can remember a few different things. I actually went as far as applying for a couple of other jobs. So it was actually the Lad Bible that I reached out to. I emailed them. And this was at a time where I don't know why it was the Lad Bible that I chose, but they were far less significantly developed than they are these days. Yeah. And it was at a period of time where they weren't really even uploading videos to their social media pages. It was pictures, and I emailed and said I could help them create videos and be primarily a video editor, because I saw that they'd probably have the potential to do that. And it's very odd to think back that they got back to me and were like curious about this, and they asked me more information about what my vision was. But we ended up, fortunately, I ended up not going along with that for whatever reason. I can't quite remember why. And then the second job that I applied for was, it was a Doctor Who focused YouTube channel. So they were intending on making, there's a company called What Culture, but they wanted to make a channel called Who Culture.
Yeah.
Where they did like top 10 episodes of Doctor Who and stuff. And that's something that I once again applied for, just because my channel wasn't really doing very much at that point in time. But I don't think anything happened with either of those jobs in the end. And I actually just got quite lucky that I started a new series, which was Minecraft Hacker Trolling. And that, for the first time, I can remember I set a like goal on episode 1 of, let's try and get this episode to 400 likes. And it hit 400 likes in a day, which at that point in time, I'd never achieved that really. So it had real potential and grew into quite a big thing over the next few years.
Yeah. So I suppose like if you didn't have that idea to start that channel, you wouldn't be here today.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, has there been any other times that you've thought of quitting through the career? Because obviously there is ups and downs because it's social media.
Yeah. So 2016, I guess I technically did quit during that point in time, and I decided to go traveling with Becky. So we went to, and that was over a 6-month period, and we went to Australia for most of that, and we really enjoyed that. But I was living in Sydney just for a small amount of time at the end of the trip, because we'd basically run out of money. So Becky went to go work on a horse ranch, and I stayed in Sydney and thought, well, I may as well try and revive my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I just absolutely hammered out the hacker trolling videos and general Minecraft trolling content, and that really did relaunch my channel, because I'd previously been stuck on 160,000 subscribers for a long time. But then I can remember getting to 200,000 subscribers fairly quickly, and then it just sort of kept going slowly for the next, I don't know, 7 years or something.
And like, what did that feel like having it coming back? Because I suppose you were a bit down about it.
No, it was absolutely amazing. It was a really, really good feeling. I can remember specifically looking at my analytics, because obviously I genuinely just needed money at that point in time. And I can remember when I'd seen that first bit of success, I took like the earnings I'd made that week and I times it by 4 to see what would my monthly wage look like. And for the first time, it was a really nice amount of money that would be able to sustain me for quite a long time if I was to keep up at that current rate. So I just kept going with that for a really long time.
Yeah, so from about when you launched the channel here at QE to 2019, you were doing mainly Minecraft content, and for a period of time, the channel was known as JackSucksAtMinecraft. So where did that idea for the Minecraft content come from, and how was it keeping on doing that for years and years?
Yeah, so I started watching people do Minecraft videos in 2012, and that was when Minecraft just really exploded, and it was that era of daily Let's Plays where people were doing 30-minute episodes or 10 to 30-minute episodes every day, and it was just them playing survival. And that was people like the Syndicate Project and Captain Sparkles and the Yogscast, and I watched all of that stuff. And then Minecraft Hunger Games became a thing, and I was watching all of the Hunger Games YouTubers like Beijing Canadian, etc. And I'd already had my other channel, Samso's Apricots, which was very different and not gaming focused at all, but it had given me a certain level of experience. So I decided to have a go doing some of the Minecraft videos that I'd enjoyed watching myself. And fortunately, that obviously paid off.
Yeah, and like, what was the first video that went viral, and were you at college at that time? That like
I was, yeah. So I remember the first video that had 1,000 views was a Doctor Who Daleks mod showcase. And the reason it got 1,000 views is because the person that created the mod reposted it onto their forums page.
Yeah.
So it gained a lot of traction. So I remember that being a really big thing. And then my first video that got 1 million views was my now deleted Minecraft girlfriend mod video.
The infamous.
Which I'm not a huge fan of at this point. But back in 2013, that I can remember that got me like a few thousand subscribers and did get me fairly established as a Minecraft mods person.
Yeah, so like, what was it like coming to college and knowing that you had that success? Did you want to tell people about it, or like, did you want to just keep it to yourself?
Yeah, my friend group knew what I was doing, and people wanted to be in videos, and I can remember, like, I've looked through old Facebook messages and seen that there was a lot of me like pushing people to subscribe to my channel and like really trying to get things going and get the ball rolling, and people were subscribing out of politeness. Some people were wanting to like do videos with me and stuff as well.
Yeah, and then then there was a change in 2019, 2020 towards other content play buttons that came later.
Yeah.
So what like initiated that change from Minecraft to other type of content?
I'd just done Minecraft for so long, and I guess I'd made easily over 1,000 videos on this game. And it's not like it was even very popular at that point in time. I don't know why I was still doing it, to be honest. Because from, as I said, there was that era in 2012 where Minecraft was huge, and then it kept going until 2016, maybe. And then it was quite quiet. But because I had established Minecraft servers, I continued to push Minecraft content, even though it was less of a viral thing for a number of years. And then for whatever reason, it happened to work out that as I drifted away from Minecraft, it actually had its huge spike in success that happened kind of just before COVID, and that's where YouTubers like Tommy Innit and Dream all absolutely exploded out of nowhere.
Do you kind of regret like fully moving away from Minecraft at that point? Like, do you think you could have kept it going just like less videos?
It's interesting to see, but then when I think about what the big Minecraft YouTubers during that period of time went through and like the pressure that they had on them, I think I'm actually quite happy that I was doing my own thing, and it probably, I was growing slower, but I was still enjoying what I was doing.
I suppose you were enjoying the content more than you would have been.
And I think it's quite nice that from that stagnation point at the end of 2016, from when things started growing again, for the next, I guess, 10 years, I've just slowly and consistently grown, which is just a nice place to be, because a lot of YouTubers don't have that level of longevity. So even though I've never been one of the top 10 biggest YouTubers, I've still just been quietly growing and doing my own thing for a really long time.
Yeah, and I suppose that's really nice. And your channel had its almost second chapter, becoming YouTube focused with like play buttons. So if people watching or listening don't know what the play buttons are, explain to them like what this is.
So YouTube have this really nice feature where if you hit 100,000 subscribers, they'll send you a plaque. So it's a physical award, and it's coined as the term the silver play button. Then when you hit 1 million subscribers, you get a gold play button. If you manage to get 10 million subscribers, you get a diamond play button, which looks really cool. They've even got awards for 100 million as well. And it's just a really nice incentive for creators to be able to get. And they're exactly the same whether you're the Jimmy Kimmel Tonight Show or you're just a gaming YouTuber. Everybody gets the same awards based on the same milestones, and it's just a really sweet thing that they've got.
Yeah, and that led you to gaining a number of rare play buttons and doing lots of things in the sphere.
Too many things, if anything.
Well, from PewDiePie's 100 million play button, sending MrBeast 100 million play button to space, gaining the world record for the most YouTube channels with over 100,000 subscribers. So many more things, including gaining a YouTube channel with no videos to 1 million subscribers, which then led you to gaining 100,000 pounds from MrBeast.
$100,000.
Sorry, dollars.
Only a petty 78,000.
Honestly. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So what was it about play buttons that made it want to be a central theme of your channel?
So it was an era around 2018 where I was uploading a variety of different content, and I was just able to experiment, and people were quite happy just watching whatever it was that I was uploading, which was a great position to be in. And I found out that you could order a second play button if you'd managed to. So if you'd gotten 100k, they'd sent you your 100k play button, but then if you wanted to pay £150, you could actually get a second one. so that you could display one at your office, you could display one at home. It's just a logical thing. But at that point in time in 2018, nobody knew that that was a thing.
Yeah.
So it was very weird that you could suddenly just have unlimited play buttons if you were to pay for them. So I made a video just showcasing that off, and because no one had talked about it before, people were very, very interested in it, and it ended up featuring on Keemstar's Drama Alert, which still feels very weird to have happened, because it apparently, I guess, was just quite big news. But obviously, because that video had done well, I then leaned into that and did as many other play button videos as I could think of. And the first one that kind of went viral was, I had about 800,000 subscribers, and I asked my friend Skeppy if he could order a gold play button because he'd recently surpassed 1 million subscribers. But instead of putting his own name on it, put my name on it, meaning that I'd technically get a JackSucksAtLife gold play button
without a million
subscribers. So I made a whole video documenting that process, and I remember that managed to get 1 million views fairly quickly. So that was the first viral video, and then I just kept up to it for, I'd say, 2 years fairly consistently. That was like the primary thing that I was uploading videos about.
Yeah.
And we did there was just so many different things to do, because I kind of managed to dominate that space because no one was making play button videos. It was just my thing. So I ended up being known by so many YouTubers who were interested in play buttons because they also liked having play buttons, that they'd somehow just all came across various things that I'd done. Which I guess is why people like MrBeast ended up reaching out as well, because I know that if you watch some of his old videos, he did have an interest in play buttons. So I guess that's why he just randomly reached out and gave me that opportunity that you mentioned earlier.
So that opportunity was incredible. How was it to wake up to a message from the world's biggest YouTuber?
Yeah, it was weird. So, I guess it was it must have been 2020. So he was already the #1 channel, I think. Maybe he wasn't. He definitely had at least 50 million subscribers, I think, at that point in time. And I'd never spoken or interacted with him. Obviously, because he was such a big YouTuber, I knew who he was, but I had no inclination that he would know who I was. So he'd followed me and DM'd me, I've got an idea. Let me know if you want to hear it. So obviously I wanted to hear what the idea was. And then he just proposed that amazing opportunity, which was basically, he's made a blank channel called Don't Subscribe. If I can get 1 million people to subscribe to that channel, he'd give me $100,000, which was just an absolutely bizarre opportunity to be given. But of course I was like, yes, that sounds very nice. Thank you. I shall do that.
And I heard the heartbreaking news the other week that it got deleted.
Yeah, this came out of nowhere. So spoiler alert, the channel did get to 1 million subscribers. I think it took me about 12 months because I just took it at my own pace. I knew there was no time limit. So it meant that I was able to not have to lock in and focus purely on that. I could still release other videos rather than just saturate my channel with videos trying to encourage people to subscribe to Don't Subscribe. So it got there about 12 months later, and then sat quite happily for, I guess, 4 to 5 years.
And I think it got like even over 1 million.
Yeah, I think it ended up on 1.27 million. So 270,000 extra people subscribed for whatever reason, which is great. But then, I think because of inactivity on the channel, the Google account associated with it just was automatically deleted because there's no content on it, and then it meant that the channel itself got deleted, which was really sad to see. And I did reach out to YouTube to try and get it back, but they basically couldn't really help because it wasn't my channel,
your channel,
so I had no access to it. So from a security's perspective, they couldn't
I suppose you
really
can't
talk to me about it.
Really reach out to MrBeast saying, "Can you get the channel back?"
Well, I did. I actually mentioned that it was broken. I never really expected a reply because you kind of sometimes you get a reply instantly, and sometimes you won't because obviously he's just a busy person. But he ended up responding just saying, "We didn't delete it," which is I understand, but then I can't then be like, well, excuse me, could you just maybe try and check your emails? It's just like, he's clearly too big and busy to be faffing on with this channel that realistically doesn't matter because the thing ended years ago. So I think it is lost to the archives now.
And then you had another interaction with MrBeast, him sending you his 100 million play button.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
What happened there? And did he even, and then you ended up sending it to space. Did he even know that?
So he hit 100 million subscribers, and around the same time, he just once again messaged, because I suppose he just likes supporting the community and knew that it'd be the kind of thing that I'd be interested in, which I do appreciate. He just said, would I like to borrow it? So of course I was like, yes, please, MrBeast, that sounds great, thank you. He said, you have 24 hours, well, I'll get it sent to you. So then I was trying to logistically work out what's the coolest thing that I could do with this. So I already had a concept where I was going to try and send my KSI Diamond play button, which I also have to Space. But then, so we were planning that video. But then when MrBeast messaged, I was like, well, let's swap out the diamond play button with the red diamond play button, because that's even cooler to be able to do. So yeah, it was a complete surprise. But we did manage to pull it off. It was incredibly complicated. It was the biggest like logistical thing that I've done as a video. But yeah, we managed to get it sent into space. It landed somewhere in the Peak District. It was amazing to see. It was kind of frozen along the top because of how cold it was in space.
The shots of it in space are just
there was a little camera set up to it, and it just looked absolutely beautiful watching it spin in front of the curvature of the Earth, particularly with it being a red diamond play button that has so many reflections and the glistens. Yeah, it was a beautiful little thing to be able to do. And then we got it. My plan was to just post it back to him, because obviously he's over in the USA.
Yeah.
So I paid for the most expensive shipping I could, because obviously I was so worried about this precious thing. Imagine I send it into space, it survived that, and then
and then it gets lost.
Yeah, DPD lose it. So I paid for incredibly expensive shipping. I put a little air tag in there so that I could keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks had gone by and it was just stuck at Stansted Airport, and I was really panicked because I was meant to have only had it for like 24 hours, and it was his only 100 million red diamond play button from a guy that I don't know particularly well. I've only reached out when he's given me like a couple of opportunities, which is great. Eventually it gets returned to me. I'm panicking because when PewDiePie's 100 million play button was sent to me, that arrived broken because of the way it had been packed, which was like incredibly stressful. I was devastated when that happened. So I was really worried that Jimmy had let me borrow his play button and I'd have just broken it in the post. But fortunately, because of how well I'd packed it, because I was not taking any chances, it was completely fine. And they decided they would just literally, they sent someone in a plane from the US to go down to London.
Wow.
So I met them in London, just in a Costa, gave him the play button, and then he flew home again. I got the plane back. Sorry, I got the train back up north again. That was my shortest trip in London. But at least I knew that it was safe, and I was so relieved about that.
So, like, what was your biggest achievement during that period of getting play buttons, getting world records?
I guess there's three. I suppose there's the two that you've mentioned, which is the 100 million award in space, because obviously that's just a really cool thing to have been able to do. Then we've got I guess getting the KSI Diamond play button was quite a pinnacle moment for the play button series as well. And then I think probably the world record is just a really cool thing to have been able to do.
Yeah, so what was it like getting that world record? And what's it been like getting, because you've got other YouTubers' world records, including the Sidemen as well?
Yeah, it was really, really fun. Once again, I think it was just because it was a unique series where you help other YouTubers get world records. That hadn't been done before, so it just meant that I was able to kind of own that genre of content, and I had really good connections with Guinness World Records, so it was quite easy for me to sort of skip the queues in the application process and manage to find records that work. But with my own record, that was really exciting because I can't remember what his role is. I don't know. He's not CEO, but he's kind of like the media head of Guinness World Records. Is a fella called Craig, and whenever they have big stars like, I don't know, Hugh Jackman or Lady Gaga receiving a world record, it was this guy called Craig that would give them the record, and he was actually the person that gave me my record. It was during COVID, so it was via a sort of a video message. But even just that was so exciting and so special because I'd seen him throughout my life just as the world record guy. Yeah. And he was now giving me one of those world records. And I collected the books when I was younger, so it was just very exciting.
Yeah. So what is your, how big is your play button collection? And what's your favourite part of it? And, like, how much is it worth?
Yeah, I don't know how much it's worth, because you could argue it's worth $1 million, but you could also argue it's worth literally nothing, because they're just random artifacts that are only worth lots of money if the right buyer comes along. And then it's like, well, they're only kind of worth value to the person who's achieved the award in theory. So maybe they're not worth anything. But then imagine you're a big fan of PewDiePie. You're gonna want, if you're very rich, you might want PewDiePie's award. But at the moment, I don't have any plans to sell them. I can't say that I'm not rich enough to just decline amazing offers, unfortunately. So if someone was going to offer me a crazy amount of money, I would obviously have to think about it. But it's not my goal. I'm happy just keeping the collection. I guess PewDiePie's award is the coolest thing that I've got, just because it was part of the whole PewDiePie versus T-Series thing, which was just a huge part of YouTube culture. And it was the first time a 100 million award was seen on YouTube as well.
So going on from play buttons, you then experimented with a range of different content on your main channel. So like, if you were to remove the subscriber count from your channels, like, would you change any of those content?
I don't know, because I guess because I've set up so many different YouTube channels, I can like focus on whatever I want to. So it's nice that I have that geography channel, which is kind of what I'm putting most of my time into at the moment, because that's what I'm enjoying the most, and that's what viewers are enjoying the most. So that's kind of the current era that I'm seeing myself in. So, and for whatever reason, it doesn't feel like for the last few years subscriber counts matter how they used to. Like, it's not just me, just any YouTubers that have been around for a long time now, just it's harder to push people to subscribe, and also it's kind of pointless, because you don't need to be subscribed to a channel to still receive all of their videos in your recommended. So most people, or a big chunk of people these days, they will watch a creator on their TV without subscribing to them, even if they watch a video every single week, because it's just less intuitive on devices like the TV to click that subscribe button. So you just don't need to, because the algorithm just shows you the videos that you want to watch. So it's not something that I really think about these days in terms of growth. It's more about active viewers as opposed to subscribers.
And you've done quite a lot of like challenge and fitness challenges on your main channel. What's made you the switch to that? Is it just what you've been interested in your life?
Yeah, I try and basically turn my hobbies into things I can make videos out of. And obviously, fitness is just something that I think is really important for everybody. So it was kind of my goal that if I was to try and get into fitness content, it would encourage others to do so. And I think there's perhaps something quite refreshing about when I watched and researched fitness content, it was all just men that had just perfect six-packs. And they had so much experience. So there's something quite accessible about people seeing a beginner like me start on a fitness journey, because they'll be able to align far better to me, because they're in a much closer position physically than to somebody that's been doing fitness for 10 years. So that was kind of my goal. It was just to try and encourage other people into fitness. And a really good thing that motivates me is making a video about something. So if I was to do a push-up challenge where I'm trying to do push-ups every day, if I know that I'm making a video out of it, I know that that's really going to push me to keep up to it.
And like, are you planning to continue doing that type of content on your main channel, or is...
I don't want just every video to be a fitness video. My main channel is a bit of a strange place now, where it's just been around so long, and I don't rely on that channel for income anymore, because my focus is things like my geography channel. So I don't see my original channel, JackSucksAtLife, as my job anymore. So I just have that freedom that is the channel where I can try anything and not necessarily worry about how many views it could get. But that being said, maybe a year and a half ago, I did a few videos where I did some walking challenges, and people were really interested in them. So what I want to do this year is try doing some walking challenges in other more obscure countries, because I've always just limited my stuff to the UK, and I just think that could be a really interesting genre of me trying to walk across small countries and maybe just gradually getting bigger and bigger countries as the series progresses.
Yeah,
So that's kind of my plan.
yeah. And as you've said before about your geography channel, which kind of you started it and then it kind of phased out, and the resurgence of it only happened because you forgot to cancel your GeoGuessr membership.
Yes, that's right.
So how does it feel that now that has become your main focus, which was your third, fourth channel?
Yeah, it's very weird, but I suppose it just fits the rest of my YouTube history. Is I've constantly tried different things, and then when something started working, like the first few play button videos, I've just made sure to always capitalize on that potential. So that's what happened. As soon as the geography channel started doing well, I just kept going with content, and I realized that it's actually you can get quite a lot of geography content recorded within a reasonably short space of time. So there was a lot of potential here for this to actually build a really strong foundation, which did end up happening.
Yeah, and what is it about like geography videos that interests you the most, and what made you?
So it's always just nice learning stuff. So the beginnings of that channel reaching its success was a series where I tried to learn all of the countries of the world, and people were just very interested in that for whatever reason. And I think maybe similar to the fitness stuff, a lot of videos that existed previously was just people that were already geography experts and they already knew everything, whereas with this series people were able to be in a similar position to me in terms of their geography knowledge, and they were able to learn the countries as I learned the countries, and I came up with mnemonics that would help us remember countries and remember what their flags worked. So that's how other people ended up learning the same stuff, was just from watching videos, and me and the viewers learned together.
Yeah, so we're going to test a little bit of your
Okay.
knowledge here.
Well, I am rusty these days.
Of Darlington.
Darlington, all right.
But I've helped you a little bit because these are some screenshots from Google Earth of Darlington in 2012.
Right,
so
okay.
I've helped you a little bit, as well as some photos of current Queen Elizabeth College, to see if you know where they are.
Oh my God.
So this is the first photo. If you wanna,
oh yes, I'll hold it.
Take it closer.
Oh, I know where that is. So that's blurred out. I don't know if it still is, but that was a Sabres.
It is still a Sabres.
Is it? Because I used to go there at lunch, and I'd get a can of Coke for 33 pence. Whoa. Imagine that world. Wow. I dread to think the prices these days.
Yeah. Do you go to Greg's next door as well?
Greg's?
It's just cut off.
Well, we would. On occasion we go to Greg's, but in order to save money, we go to Taylor's Butchers down there. Yes. I don't know if that is still a thing.
Yeah, that's
is it?
Yeah.
So I think I'd get like a cheese pasty from down there because it was a bit cheaper than Greg's.
Yeah. So well done.
Found that place.
We're gonna see if you're a Darlo expert. So this is the next one.
Quite an obscure image.
Oh yeah.
You really zoomed in.
They're gonna get harder, these, to be fair.
But that's on like the main high street, isn't it, where all the steps are?
Yes, it is.
And there's like the Barclays is there, right?
Yeah. Near there. Yeah,
okay, perfect.
This place next.
Okay. Well, that's the Cornmill Shopping Centre, right?
It is the Cornmill Shopping Centre.
So you've got there was a TK Maxx nearby. Is that still about?
Not anymore.
There was a TK Maxx.
Wilco.
And there was a Weatherspoons.
Yes.
Around that point that I had been to a few times.
Is that Spoons on that photo or not? At the edge, potentially.
Is it that?
Yeah, it could be.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm taking that as a point.
That is a point. This.
Well, that's just around a similar spot, right? That's where the Cornmill entrance is, like here.
Yeah, that's correct.
Look at this, it's all locked in. And you've got the clock over on the other side over there.
And that mobility shop's still there.
Good, thank goodness. So all of these are from 2012 then?
Yeah, all of these are 2012. And this one's probably the hardest one. Right,
that is just an image of a bin. Well, that's leading down to... Oh, that's further down, isn't it?
It is
towards,
further down,
like,
yeah.
there was a top man
Yes.
around here,
Yeah.
and there was like a market, and maybe an indoor market over on this side. Yeah, it's like further down the street basically from the previous one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm taking that
Okay,
point.
near Marks and Spencer's that was. Now
Okay.
B&M, I believe.
Wow.
So now we go on to college.
Okay.
So where is this?
Oh, you've got images from within the college.
This is a little bit easier because we did go on a little tour around college earlier on.
So this is like the film area. So that was my form room.
Okay, perfect. That's correct. This is the next one.
All of
Corridor.
the corridors feel wider than they used to, but they clearly aren't. So I'm
Potentially
curious how
just
that's happened.
empty.
Yeah, I think you've got a more minimalistic vibe going on than when I was here. I don't know what you would have gotten rid of though. Maybe just posters on the walls and stuff.
Potentially.
This one's it's upstairs, isn't it?
Is upstairs.
That's the library underneath,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's
So
on the second floor.
yeah, I couldn't tell you what was here, other than I think there's maybe stairs going down there. Does that sound right?
Yeah. Should I give you the point there?
And then,
think so?
well, I can kind of, I could walk to this
Okay.
from
We'll
here.
give
if
you
I
the
was
point
at-
there.
So I'm taking the point.
Okay.
I need to leave this with a flawless run,
yeah.
you know? Oh, I mean, this is just a picture of a staircase, so that
But
you
which
do have multiple
staircase
ones.
is it? That's the question, because there is different identities for each staircase. I'd say.
Yeah, well, you've got that corridor thing there, haven't you?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to take my point away on this one.
No,
I
point
do.
away.
It's not the staircase that is like
No,
here, right?
it's not. No,
Oh, okay, I'm
sorry.
wrong then. Fair enough.
It's down, like, if you went fully down that corridor and then turned right, then
Right.
that staircase would be there.
Okay.
And
Lost
then
that one.
this one.
This is leading into the atrium.
It is.
So
You
that
are
was-
correct.
That was like out my go-to location when I attended this college. We'd spend our free periods in the atrium. Then you've got the toilets, and then my locker was one of these.
Oh.
I don't remember which one it was. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very, very similar looking.
Yeah.
And I will use this as an opportunity to point out that there's a board where it says past students, where are they now? And they've got like, this guy's now, works in journalism or something. I'm not on there.
And that's
not
not
happy
even
about that.
generally students. That's just media students.
Is it specifically media
Yeah,
students?
that's
Well, there's
specifically
nothing
media
media
students.
related to my job, so.
No.
So that is my official complaint to Queen Elizabeth Sixth Form.
We'll get that sorted for you.
I should hope so. Thank you.
I'll send you a picture once it's
Yeah, that'd be
once
great.
it's up. Well, you only got one wrong,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I can claim you as a Darlow expert.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll take
so-
that.
Here's your two, not just one.
That's the way you've
two
doubled up again.
Purple QE branded pens.
Wow. Do you know? Unironically, I'm actually really happy with that.
Do you need some more pens in your office? Right?
It's just nice I like things that that means something, and the fact this has Queen Elizabeth on it, that's pretty
Yeah.
exciting. And it's the classic
And
purple.
that's purple.
It's the podcast purple.
Almost colour matched, but
And you gave me two, double
know,
trouble. I
double.
didn't need two. One would have been sufficient.
Well,
but I'm
then-
really happy with that.
then they'll be able to last for years to come.
Do you know what? Pens last a long time in my
Well,
house.
yes.
I very, very rarely actually use them, but it's nice to have them.
And there'll be another game where there'll
You
be
kidding?
one
But-
final
But there's nothing
prize.
under your chair. What could this be?
You've not seen that one, have you?
No, I haven't.
Okay, good.
Wow.
A little bit later on. But do you feel like you've made it on YouTube, or are you still chasing success in some ways?
I don't know. For a long time, my goal was to get to 10 million subscribers, but I don't think I'm bothered about that anymore. It's also quite nice to be well known on YouTube, but not well known to the point where it has a constant implication on my personal life, because I get to be in the Sidemen Among Us videos these days, which I really enjoy doing, and it's really nice to be invited as a guest on such a big series. But I wouldn't want to have the level of fame that people like the Sidemen have, because it means that, I had a nice walk around Darlington earlier and went for brunch. I wouldn't be able to do that if I was super famous on YouTube, because I'd be too worried about, how many people would perhaps know me. So I'm just quite happy with the level that I'm at these days.
Yeah, and obviously you've done so many incredible things over your career. So what is your biggest achievements, and what are some of the videos you're most proud of?
I don't know what my biggest achievements are. I just kind of, I just go along with things really and just see what happens, and then I'm just grateful for what has happened. But biggest videos, I guess, I guess are just the obvious ones, things like the MrBeast award in space. I really do like the video where I got KSI's diamond play button without him knowing, because that was another video that really was a turning point for the play button series. And it's quite funny watching that video back now, because even though me and Becky thought it was such like a epically put together video at that time, it's crazy to see how much it's aged and how outdated it is in only 5 years, because the editing is just, it's very much 2020 editing, and you don't think about videos managing to be outdated that quickly. But no, I really do like that video. That's like quite a nostalgic one.
Yeah, and then on the other hand, would you say, like, what's your biggest mistake that you've made?
Ooh, what's my biggest mistake? I don't know. It's difficult to say. There's been videos that I've released on JackSucks's stuff. Now, I don't know if this is true, but it feels like if you release videos that don't perform particularly well, the algorithm then thinks that people are less interested in your channel as a whole, and then it seems like your other videos that were previously doing well aren't doing as well anymore. Now, that could just be complete coincidence, and it might be that people are just losing interest in what I'm doing, which obviously is fair enough, because I've done lots of the same stuff for a long time. But I did release a Minecraft Let's Play again, you know, for nostalgia purposes, I guess a year ago or something like that, and it felt like lots of people watched it and enjoyed it, but less people watched it than just people that usually watch JackSucks's stuff, and it felt like it then made the views on my other videos that were previously doing quite well a bit lower. Might just be purely coincidence, but it's difficult to get back into somebody's algorithm once you've been pushed out of it. So but at the same time, I'm just grateful for what I have managed to do.
Yeah, so like, where do you see the future of social media, and are you concerned about like the longevity of it, and do you see yourself being a YouTuber and doing YouTube content in 10, 20 years time?
Yeah, I mean, I don't put a lot of energy into social media that isn't YouTube. I'm kind of just very happy to work on that and then forget about other stuff, and then, you know, think of things like Instagram as not my job, but just here's a nice picture of me that I'm happy to post, and then it doesn't matter if I haven't posted anything else for 2 months. So I don't really worry about other social media, and I just kind of let them do whatever. But with YouTube, I imagine that I'll always be doing YouTube in some capacity. Because I just have been through so many eras in the last, if you count my first channel, it's been, you know, 16, 17 years of making videos. And I've done a lot of different things in that point in time. So I think I'll always just be doing some kind of videos.
Yeah, and like, what does an average week and day look like for you as a creator?
So it's kind of, I try to just do fairly standard. I try to just do fairly standard hours. So, yeah, I wouldn't really work past maybe 5:30 p.m. So I just like to just kind of have a fairly standard evening. But it's kind of just working away at the computer, because most of the time, on the average week, most of my recording time is the geography focused stuff, which is almost always just filmed in my office at home, and I can just, if I want to, I could get maybe 3 videos done in one day, and then those get spread out, and then obviously a lot of time is also put into making the thumbnails for them and the titles and all of that aspect and keeping up with your emails. But it is all generally day to day, just fairly standard, just sitting in your office and just pottering away at different things. It's only when I'm doing a bigger video that maybe requires something a little bit different where your week's sort of thrown off. But generally, it's just quite a standard work week.
Yeah, and what are like some of your biggest plans for the future?
Big plans are hopefully to move back towards the north, hopefully to travel quite a bit more. Currently, I'm waiting for surgery on my nose to heal, but in hopefully about 5 weeks' time, we should be able to start booking some things abroad, and I can do some of those traveling videos that I've talked about for a long time, because I do a lot of talking about plans but not actually doing any of them, and that's kind of a bit of a reoccurring thing for a few years.
Yeah.
Where I like say I'm going to do something and then it doesn't actually happen. So I'm trying to this year actually do the things I say I'm going to do.
So to end off, we'll go back to QE. So who was your favourite teacher?
Who was my favourite teacher?
That's the big question. Everyone will be watching it right now.
Well, I'm going to have to say Vicky, my form tutor, that I'm not sure, I don't think she taught, I don't think she did. Yeah, she did teach me for a little bit, actually. She did some film studies, but I don't think she was consistently my film teacher. But I mean, I saw her earlier, so I'm going to have to say Vicky.
Oh, yeah, that's true. What was your favourite subject?
Favourite subject? It depends, really, because you obviously, over the 2 years, you were with different teachers and you were with different students as things progressed. I enjoyed my media, I guess. I think I enjoyed media the most because I liked the group that I was with.
Yeah.
It was fun.
And did you ever go to the common room? And if so, what was your favourite common room food?
So we'd go, I used to get dropped off really early with two of my other friends because their mum worked in the hospital.
Okay.
So we'd arrive outrageously early. So we'd be sat by ourselves at like 8 a.m. just in the common room. But I don't think we ever bought anything.
Really?
And I was never someone that went to like the common room at lunch. I always went into town at lunch. So I'm not sure I ever bought anything. They've got a Starbucks now in this common room. That's absolutely blown me away.
Yeah, you're just amazed. You're going to come back just to use the Starbucks.
How is there just a Starbucks? Capitalism wins again.
To be fair, I've never used the Starbucks. I've used Common Room, but not the Starbucks.
Not the Starbucks aspect.
And what's your favourite memory from QE?
My favourite memory, so many. There was the time where I watched a gory horror film in film studies and then went to the toilet and fainted at the urinal.
Ooh.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A cute memory that I can think of is we were walking out of form. There was me, Becky, and my friend Joe. And this was a point in time where I liked Becky, but she didn't really see me in that way. So I can remember we were just chatting away and she was like, okay, so I'll see you later or whatever. She went off that way. And then my friend Joe like leaned into me and went, "You love her." And that's just like that was at the lockers that you showed me on here. And I can just remember that very clearly. And it's just quite cute to think about that now.
What's your like favourite place to go in Darlington generally? Or what was?
God, we used to just roam the streets during the lunch times. We used to like going in the subway. We'd go in the Savers for the absolute bargains. It was basically just how can we spend the least amount possible at lunch.
Yeah.
And what I would often do is I'd sit in the corn mill on the bench that stared at Greg's. And I don't know why, but it was always very exciting when that bench was free because I think it was just quite warm. Yeah. It's not exactly exciting, but I do remember that quite well.
There's a bigger Greg's now in Cornwall.
Is there?
Yeah, it's got a whole like cafe.
Is it still at the bottom of the escalators, or is it?
Yeah, just along a little bit from that.
Well, I know where I'm going after this.
Wow, yeah. And what advice would you give to any current students here at QE looking towards their future?
I would say take opportunities. Try different things. Whether that be like clubs or that are happening within college or things that are happening outside of college. Go places with people because time feels like it gets very fast from the point that you leave college. Like I can't believe that it was only 2 years that I was here because it felt like a fairly long time to me at that point in time. But now, like thinking about the last 2 years of my life has gone so unbelievably quickly. So I think just really make sure to take different opportunities and try different things that maybe let you out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah, and do you have any specific advice for people who are wanting to go into like the social media industry?
I mean, it's so difficult. It's because it's changed from when I started compared to trying to get into social media now. But I think just like most things in life, it's just be consistent with it and only do more of what does well and do more of what you enjoy and just but try different things, because obviously innovation is going to be what allows you to find out what works and what doesn't.
And if you were coming to QE today, would there be any other subjects that you would do instead, or any clubs that you would like to do?
Well, I haven't seen the curriculum for a
Yeah.
while, so I'm trying to think what there is.
Just any general subjects, and I'll tell you if we do them or not.
Perhaps I'd have maybe done ICT instead of dropping it and doing computing instead. I feel like I maybe would have enjoyed ICT more on reflection. No offense to the computing teacher that might be watching.
Well, we're going to test what you learnt here at QE.
Right, okay.
In our final game, are you an A-star student?
Okay. Well, I wasn't when I was here, so we'll see.
We'll see if you improved.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got 2 questions for each subject. I don't have computing, but I have ICT, so that works best for you.
There you go then.
So, in terms of film studies, what is the difference between diegetic and non-diegetic sound?
Diegetic. Well, I'm going to have to take an educated guess because I have no idea. Is it something about sound that is added in afterwards?
Yeah, you're onto the money there.
Is it basically like recreating sound that is required? You know, like adding in that noise. That
Almost.
Kind of thing. Okay.
So diegetic sound exists in the world of film, so the characters can hear the
so it's like music and stuff.
And non-diegetic sound is added for the audience, such as
close.
like background music.
Give me a third of a point for that one, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what does the term mise en scene mean?
We did learn that. I remember that term.
It's quite a core, and it's also on one of those posters there, but I don't know whether you'll be able to see.
Wait, get me back here. Wait. I don't see it.
Maybe I cut that out of the photo.
It's something about, I can't remember. It's something about setting the scene, basically. I think.
So it's like everything visible in the scene.
Right, okay.
So like the setting, the costume, the lights.
Okay, fair enough. I'm happy with
that. Media.
Yeah.
In terms of media, what is the difference between primary and secondary research?
Primary, secondary research. It's so weird hearing these things that are in my head, but I just haven't thought about them for so long. Primary research is research you do yourself.
Yeah.
Secondary research is like searching online, like Wikipedia and that kind of thing. Okay, take that one.
And then, what is an audience demographic? What does that mean?
So that's like, my audience demographics could be majority male within the UK and the US, with age between 13 to 30.
Yeah, perfect, Jack.
Yeah, take
and
that.
then 2 ICT questions to end it off.
Okay, yeah.
You should really know this one. It's quite linked in with YouTube.
Right.
What is an algorithm?
An algorithm is like I don't know how even though I know what an algorithm is, I don't know how to describe it. It's like what's an algorithm? It's like how content is shown to you and customized.
Yeah, I suppose in the social media term, it's step-by-step set of instructions or rules to solve a problem.
Right, okay.
Okay, and then one final question. What is RAM used for?
RAM stands for, this is more computing based than ICT. We learned this in computing. Random access memory is what it stands for.
Perfect.
There you go.
Wow.
You're welcome.
I think you did pretty well there.
I think I did pretty good. I'll take that.
Student wise, yeah. Okay, so the final prize is
No
a
way.
QE branded water bottle.
You're joking.
I know. You don't have to have any of those plastic things anymore.
No, that's
There you
beautiful.
go.
Yeah, it's much better for the environment.
Yeah.
Classic purple.
I know.
That's an honour. Thank you very much, Ethan.
Well, that does end off our interview today. Thank you for coming back, returning to QE.
It's been great. What an honour.
And being the first guest on Beyond QE.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been really fun.
Thank you, Jack.